Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake. George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none.
That was Republican frontrunner Donald Trump at Saturday night's debate, attacking former President George W. Bush in remarks that have provoked a whole lot of controversy. Radio host Mark Levin put it this way.
Fact that he attacked George Bush as a commander-in-chief, not because he disagreed with him, but he attacked him as a liar who knew there were not weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and said he was responsible for 9/11 and he was responsible for those towers coming down. This guy sounds like Code Pink. Sounds like a radical kook. I know too many Gold Star families who lost sons over there to hear this 9/11 truther crap, which is pretty close to it. Pretty damn close to it.
Today, it would appear Mr. Trump tried to soften his stance on the former commander-in-chief, at least a bit. Listen.
I don't know if he lied or not. I just know there were no weapons of mass destruction.
3 men who served our country join us now. Retired Staff Sergeant Robert Bartlett is an Iraq war veteran. He was seriously injured by an Iranian bomb. Michael Waltz is a former Green Beret who had multiple deployments to the Middle East and served as Vice President Dick Cheney's special advisor for South Asia and counterterrorism. And Carl Higbee is a former Navy SEAL who did 2 deployments in Iraq. He is a Donald Trump supporter. Gentlemen, thank you all for being here, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
you know, let me start with you, Sergeant Bartlett. Donald Trump comes out and says it was a lie, that President Bush lied and got us into the war in which you served us, and your reaction to that?
You know, I joined after what happened. When we were staging outside of Kuwait, that's when I joined. I joined because I knew Saddam wouldn't back down. It sounds like Trump is taking all his points from the liberal media in the past, instead of using his research analysis or subject matter experts. And that's why his comments are what they are. The problem is his comments hurt people. They hurt people who served over there. They hurt the families that served over there. He didn't take into consideration that his words are affecting those 22 veterans we lose a day to suicide. You know, what does it do to them? Those who are on the edge, you know, that are already struggling. We don't need a second president blaming Bush. We've already got one.
Carl, let me get your thoughts on it, since you support Donald Trump. And I mean, what do you make of these comments?
Well, I'm a huge supporter of Donald Trump, and I don't think most vets that I know, at least the overwhelming majority that I've spoken to, support Donald Trump because we believe in his conviction. We strongly believe that he will do as he said. He is so centric on veterans issues. I mean, look at this guy. He skipped the debate. And, you know, he threw a veterans event where he raised $6 million. This guy cares more about vets than any other guys on stage. I mean, on one side, you have Hillary Clinton, who is, you know, says it's sexist if you don't vote for, and then she's married to the biggest sexist in politics. And you have Bernie Sanders, who would have been thrown in jail during the Cold War for his policies. And then you have the rest of these wackos on the Republican stage who have voted for a living with our tax dollars. Then you have someone like Donald Trump, who's gone out there and given his own personal money to help veterans. I mean, this is a guy that all veterans should get behind, not be offended.
Go ahead, Mike.
Megan, I'm sorry. Here's a guy in Donald Trump. I'm offended, by the way. Here's a guy who went to prep school.
Well, you're a big boy. You'll get over it.
And said that, hey, calm down there, SEAL. That went to prep school, said he was in the military, dodged the draft, insulted a POW, in John McCain, a true hero, and I don't think Donald Trump could withstand a day of what John McCain went through for 5 years, and then insults 43 and blames him as commander-in-chief, the man who built the very security and intelligence apparatus that eventually led to the killing of Osama bin Laden and kept us all safe, all to score points against Jeb Bush, who, by the way, led the Florida National Guard through multiple national disasters, has been endorsed by 40 admirals and generals, 12 Medal of Honor winners, and put the only detailed plan that I know of forward to defeat ISIS, rather than just saying, let's bomb the crap out of them. If I'm sent into combat again and I'm still in the reserves, I want to be sent in by a steady hand, a thoughtful hand, an experienced hand in the Oval Office, not a soundbite celebrity guy. It scares me for me, my men, and my children.
All right, let me get Carl to respond. Go ahead, Carl.
Well, I think that, you make some valid points to which your concerns should be addressed, but the fact of the matter is Donald Trump is going to get the lawyers off the battlefield. And the concerns you have where he blamed Bush for 9/11, he didn't blame Bush for 9/11. Mark Levin tried to say he blamed him for 9/11. He didn't blame him. It did happen on his watch, and did we find what WMDs? No.
I'm sorry. Donald did not know what the nuclear triad was. He doesn't even know what the nuclear triad is, and you advocate his finger being on the nuclear button. He's called Putin an ally, and he doesn't even know our nuclear response and the components of it, the three components of it.
Get back to Sergeant
He should do his homework.
But let me ask you this.
Megan, but we can't afford another president who begins learning the job on day one,
Carl,
like President Obama did.
You seem to be accepting that Trump was not putting any blame on George W. Bush for 9/11. Then why did he keep saying that it happened on his, he said it happened under his reign, which of course our president is not a king.
Right.
It happened on his watch. But why did he keep saying that? Are you suggesting he wasn't trying to blame the president?
Well, Megan, blame him or not, on your program, you've always been committed to truth. And the truth of the matter is it did happen on his watch. I have immeasurable respect for George W. Bush.
What is the point that is being made, if not to put some blame on him?
I think the point was trying to be made that he's setting himself apart. He's setting Jeb apart from his brother. He's also saying that the war in Iraq was a mistake. We fought it poorly. I think we went in there with no plan, and we went in there and just
All right, I want to get back to Sergeant Bartlett, who did fight there and received some terrible injuries and is still out there fighting the good fight for the First Amendment and for the military and many other things. Sergeant, your thoughts on how this primary at this point in South Carolina, which has a lot of military in it, seems to be dividing the Republican field in a way we haven't seen in prior elections. The Republicans usually stand united and not quite this divided when it comes to the military.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the temperature of the water. We're seeing now how Republicans have made mistakes in the past, how they've been divided in the past, and what it's led to, what the problem is. Nothing can get done in Washington, and the people are unhappy. They're blaming the Republicans, they're blaming the Democrats, and nobody's doing anything. They're saying a lot of things, but they're not doing anything.
Right.
So let's choose a president that picks good subject matter experts, that has good policies. If we're all talking about policies here, let's put policies on the measuring table. Let's look at everybody's policies and how they look. I don't want to hear two Republicans fighting over what the past was. The past doesn't matter at this point. It's where we are right now and what we do with it. Now, that's great that Trump supports the troops. I commend him for that. I'm on the board of nonprofits trying to stop veteran suicide, so I appreciate that. But let's not use it as a political football where we're tearing each other apart. Let's talk about each other's policies and then defend your policies on the public arena. How about that? Don't sit there and blame some past president for what they did. You won't know until you're in that seat. So don't act like the president now. Act like the president you're going to be. Don't use the talking points that the president now is using. Use your own talking points with your policies and then prove it.
And maybe the GOP
I gotta go.
Megan, I think the soldiers
deserve
deserve better.
May I just say that I respect all of you for being here and for your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Fox. Thank you, Megan.